Hello, my name is Adam Jenkins and I am from the University of Edinburgh, and today I'm going to be giving you a quick taste of our work. Anyone else seeing this error, community, system administrators, and patch information. Keeping systems up to date is a popular piece of security advice from experts to end users. In fact, the advice is now pushed as part of the UK government schemes, such as the NCSC's Cyber Essentials. On the surface, this advice appears straightforward and simple. However, there are risks associated with patching, as they may introduce errors which may bring down essential services, potentially losing organizations money in the process. Therefore, patching is about balancing these risks. For example, in 2018, we had the announcement of two vulnerabilities, Meltdown and Spectre. These vulnerabilities impacted all modern processors, and the only way to fix them was through the application of a patch. All major software vendors were quick to provide such patches. However, in the case of Microsoft, the patches for Windows 10 caused some PCs to brick. The staff tasked with patching are known as system administrators. This user group maintain a large, complicated systems, and their security work has shown that this group are highly collaborative and cooperative in their working practices, have systems that they may not fully understand, and that they play a valuable role for their organizations as a technical broker, which translates the technical details of their systems into digestible information for their end users of the systems. Despite the importance of patching for the security of an organization, there exists very little literature in the intersection of patching and sysadmins. Recent work by Lee et al. In 2019, which was extended upon this year at SUPS by Tiffany et al., provide us with the stages used by admins in the patching process. They also paint a very detailed picture to the extent of information gathering required by admins in the patching process, such as the numerous information sources used, namely vendor notifications, forums, and mailing lists. Therefore, we decided to extend upon this work by investigating one such source, that of patchmanagement.org, a mailing list that describes itself as the industry's first such example, entirely dedicated to the subject of patch management. Focusing on this source, we decided the following research questions. 1. In what ways do the contributing members of patchmanagement.org engage with the list? And 2, what types of information is shared or requested by admins in the community? Therefore, to answer our questions with the permission of the lead moderator of the list, we were allowed to scrape the online archives containing all emails shared on the list since its inception. This resulted in a total of 63,000 emails, which you can see here. To answer our question, we used an open coding approach to create a qualitative codebook for the emails shared within 2018. We focused our analysis on the perceived initial driver for the email, whether they were sharing or requesting information on a patch. The code book was iteratively developed between two coders and resulted in a total of 350 emails being analyzed. On the 7th round, we achieved a Cohen's kappa of 0.88. Obtaining this score, we moved on to coding 300 initial emails from the months of March to July 2018. Due to errors, our final set was made up of 356 emails, of which 188 were requests for information, 150 being examples of information being shared, and 18 being off topic. I will now present to you some of our results, which you can see in the table here. We have a number of codes and related high-level themes, such as how-tos and tools or vendor behavior. However, due to brevity, I will not go through the full details of each code, and instead we'll discuss a couple of the more interesting high-level themes. I do encourage you to read our paper in full and also ask questions following the presentation. One of our largest themes was that of patch prioritization, which made up around 21% of the emails coded. Patch prioritization is a necessary part of the patching process, as there are a number of patches that may be released in any given patching cycle. Therefore, it is up to the admins themselves to pick the patches necessary and focus on getting those into their systems first. To help with these, we saw examples of executive summaries, as you can see here. These summaries were greatly detailed and gave an overview of that month's patching cycle for Windows. It would include information such as the systems and platforms that were affected, the number of vulnerabilities that were addressed, and the number and how they were rated. As you can see here, for Windows 7, we had 21 vulnerabilities, of which all 21 were rated important. This code also included examples of community members asking about the existence of patches, as we can see here. Did Microsoft withdraw the 1709 July 10th cumulative update? Questions like this were raised due to the fact that patches would become in and out of existence due to the fact that errors had been discovered. In this example here, we can see that community members would also ask and request information regarding whether or not patches were actually necessary. As we can see here in the quote, is this patch really necessary? Looks like the side effects after taking a drug that will fix one thing but make you suicidal. Our largest theme in our final set was that of errors and troubleshooting, which represented 41% of the emails featured in our final set. The emails featured in this theme were composed of community members who wished to report or seek help for errors they had personally experienced or observed in the wild. The examples were very detailed and laid out the context in which the error had occurred. As we can see with the example here, which lays out that context. The admin explains exactly what process they used, what error they observed, and of course gives the final call, is anyone else seeing this issue? The theme also contained requests for more information on errors which had been reported within that patching cycle. For example here, for those of you that did suffer a loss of the networking after the May updates, what exact NIC card did you have? What brand of computer? Errors. This theme also included examples of community members passing along information that they saw regarding errors that had been seen elsewhere. For example, here, the author would like to share a thread from Reddit about an error in July updates. This was usually to keep the community aware of ongoing issues elsewhere. I would now like to take some time to discuss the implications of our work. For example, we believe that we have observed within patch management is consistent with that of communities of practice. Communities of practice is a social learning theory which has three prominent features. 1, a domain for which all knowledge discussed within the community is based. 2, the practice and a specific focus on how the community members use and act upon this knowledge within their chosen domain. And finally, 3, a community which provides the social fabric for learning. We believe this observation to be important as it gives us some understanding as to why admins may choose certain sources over others. Another observation is that patching information is far from complete when initially released. These communities of practice may provide admins with the safe space to share information and guidance that may impact patching decisions. The community provide wisdom of the crowd, which can help alleviate the complexity involved in such high-risk patching decisions by providing best practices. Furthermore, identifying whether a patch is good or working is a complex task, since patching errors may have several sources beyond the patch itself. Therefore, the community pulls from multiple sources and their collective wisdom to reverse engineer these errors and work out exactly what is happening with a particular error. If they are able to confirm that that error is from that patch, this information can be propagated back to the vendor, prompting them to fixing the offending patch. To conclude, I presented our work, which details the qualitative analysis of 356 emails from a prominent patching information source. We found a number of topics, with the majority of content focused on patching issues and prioritization. And we believe that patchmanagement.org constitutes a community of practice, which aids its members in the best practices for patching Windows machines. Finally, I would like to thank my colleagues, Pieris Kalligeros, and my two supervisors, Vaniea and Maria Wolters, for their help throughout this project. Thanks for listening.